was a hot summer day, much like a romantic novel. I was 9 years old, she was 8, and I was inside pouting because I had recently sprained my ankle, and my parents were getting really sick of me sitting inside and having nothing to do. So my stepdad went outside and literally grabbed the first 8-year-old that he saw walking their dog, which was Laura. He would be canceled by now if it were today, but the 90s were a different time. He just grabbed the child and was like, be friends with my dog. So from that point forward, Laura and I were inseparable. And I bet my stepdad regretted his decision and introducing us on more than one occasion. For instance, the times when we laughed so hard at dinner that we couldn't talk and soda would come out of our nose. So we came up with an idea for how to get around this. Like, after that, Laura was banned from dinner. Like, literally nobody can eat in peace. We were just laughing, so it was coming out of our nose. And our idea to get around this was that Laura and I would play all day long, and then when it was time for dinner, she would hide in my closet. It was like a 2-foot by 3-foot closet, and I would go eat dinner. And tell my parents that she left.
What? You hit her?
I hit her. Yeah. So not only is Laura accomplished, but she's smart, creative, and able to fit into tight spaces. So Zeke, do with that information what you will. Over our 30-year friendship, there have been many more amazing stories just like this, most of them oddly revolving around getting in trouble while eating. There's just a lot of those stories. There's been so much laughter and tears, which were also mostly caused by laughter, that I owe any semblance of abs that I have to Laura and all of our laughing during our friendship. And for that, I am forever grateful. But unfortunately, this isn't Laura and I's wedding. So let's talk about it. I tried. So we're going to talk a little bit about Zeke now. ChatGPT wanted me to call this section Zeke the Unicorn, and it was the only good idea it had. Yeah, here it is. For those who have swam in the douche-infested water, sorry, Max, earmuffs over there. For those who have swam in the douche-infested waters of online dating, you know that Zeke is truly the unicorn of Hinge. He is sweet. He is present. He cares. He has good hair. He doesn't have a fish photo. He's what I would like to call pure of heart. That's how I would describe you. So I knew when he met Laura, he was immediately in trouble. When I met Zeke, it was easy to see why Laura liked him. I instantly felt he belonged in our crazy little group. And most importantly, Laura could completely be herself around Zeke. In terms of Zeke being himself around Laura runs a tight ship. So I knew some changes were coming.
It's already there.
That's how you got here. It was all a test and you passed. So from what I can tell, he's handled all of these changes coming his way like a champ, because we are all here today. In all seriousness, I love the way Zeke loves my friend. In our 30 years together, I have not been able to find anyone else who can match her energy, who can let her be who she truly is, and just let her be herself, the amazing, beautiful person that she is. I know it sounds cliche, but I really could not have dreamed of a better partner for Laura. It just fits, and you're a great guy, plain and simple. As for Laura, my sister from another mister, I'm so happy you found your unicorn. You deserve every bit of this beautiful life you've created, and I know it hasn't been easy. I've been there through it all, and I've seen it, and you've persevered, and just like planning this wedding, you made it look so effortless. And the thing is, I just trust this, because I trust you, and you have always done what it takes to make your life beautiful, and to bring beautiful people into it. And because I trust you, I trust everything. So.
Great job, Tiffany. Smashed it. Next up, we got JD Nighty. Give it up for JD, y'all. Give it up for JD. Now, honestly, guys, give it up for Tiffany one more time. She was nervous. She did so good. Yes. Told you.
Sound good there? All right. So, I really couldn't think of what to say. So, just gonna wing it. Just kidding. No. So, all right. Yep. Good. Tall guy. All right. Now we're good. All right. Okay. Let's start over here. All right. So I want to make one thing very clear. I am not up here because I love Zeke. I'm up here because he loves me. I mean, this man is obsessed with me. When we're living in the East Lake with Nate down there, they live just above us, and our friendship began to blossom. He began to understand just how cool I am. He realized that I was an amazing cook and really good at making things like chili and ribs. So he decided to get in the game and compete. And when I moved out of our apartment and moved to Lake Desire, like we were talking about earlier today, he decided he needed to buy a place in Lake Desire. And then we moved down there, you realize that I own a Jeep. It's big, it's cool, it's got big tires, sounds really cool. And so then we decided to buy this thing called a Scout, which if you don't know anything about that, it's kind of like a Jeep, just it takes a lot of work. And of course, I had to marry a smoking hot blonde. And what did you do? Give it up for Laura again over here. So going back to the gym, yeah. So I was talking to Zeke last week, and I was like, man, I gotta write this best man speech. And he goes, well, you should just use ChatGPT. Going back to that. I said, absolutely not. You got to talk from the heart. And so I was jotting some things down the past few weeks to get ready, and I really wanted to feel good. I wanted to, talk from the heart. So of course I'm not going to use ChatGPT. And so typically the best man speech either comes in two forms. It's either going to be a roast, and you tell some embarrassing stories, or you go sentimental, and you try to make some people cry. So of course, I'm going to go sentimental in this guy over here. We're going to get some tears flying over here, all right? Okay. So the three of us right here, went on the pontoon boat last week, just connecting and having a great conversation. And the one thing that I absolutely love about Laura is that she laughs at my style of humor. And that is absolutely trolling Zeke. I mean, Zeke, I love you, but you are so easy to mess with. At a point it becomes a game, a sport even. And I love that Laura does the same thing. So on the boat last week, we're just ribbing this young man. But when we get back to the house, she's like, oh my God, I hope you don't think I'm mean to him. I actually like the guy. And I was like, girl, you were just speaking my love language. And it seems a gentle roast is not only my love language. It's this girl right here. So let's get into it. I'm just kidding, Zeke. I'm not gonna sit up here and roast him. That's just borderline disrespectful. I'm not gonna talk about when you first started dating and you invited me to come to the bar for a beer, and I show up and it turns out you two were on a date. you didn't tell her that I was coming. You're sitting there eating salads and, oh, the look on your face. I thought for sure that was it. Like I said, I'm not going to stand up here and roast you. Absolutely not. I would never come to a wedding and be given this huge platform and tell you that Ray Charles himself can drive a boat better than you.
Not true.
I wouldn't expose you to the fact that half the time you run into something, whether that be a clearly visible, ridiculously large branch hanging from the shoreline, or possibly the throttle and positioning of your boat going into your own dock, and the fact that you ran into said dock on your third date. And we'll talk more about that later. Again, everybody.
That almost stuck.
I'm not up here to roast you. I'm not up here to roast you. But come on. You cry at everything. However, that's not a roast. That is a genuine character trait that shows that you truly care about the people in your life. You genuinely show emotion, and that's the part that makes you a great person. You see, the thing about Zeke is that he will always be there for you. It doesn't matter the circumstance, he shows up. He may not always know what to say or what to do, he just cares. He'll be there. He's a huge part of how it went from just us being a couple dudes that live in the same apartment building to honestly becoming family. You see, when my wife and I first moved to Eastlake, right around a decade ago, my wife and I were working a lot, no kids, and we were loving living in the city. And when we met Zeke, and he was living in the apartment above us, and we experienced city life together, which is nothing short of entering into neighborhood chili cookouts, cooking ribs for neighborhood block parties, going to the Zoo Tavern, playing bocce ball by the lake, epic 4th of July parties, and so on. These are some of the best times, but then something changed. My wife and I had a baby. Our daughter came screaming into our lives. And then she was a part of our little community that we had built over in Eastlake. When our daughter June was born, it was as if she had 2 lassos. One of those lassos went around this little finger, the other one around this little guy's finger over there. We absolutely did not stand a chance with this little girl. And Zeke has watched her grow up, since the beginning, day one. He has watched her learn. She's now 7, by the way. So, he's been there to see her learn how to walk, how to talk, and see her grow into her own personality. He's gone to the soccer games, he's gone to the preschool, dancing recitals, singing recitals, baseball games, everything. You have been there every step along the way. You are Uncle Zeke. My daughter absolutely loves you. It's part of what makes you family. And like I said, you show up no matter what. You know how important it is for kids to have a great childhood, and you have 100% helped me give that to my kid. June wouldn't have the things that she has if it weren't for you. Seriously. And not because he is the uncle of the century. It is because I am not handy whatsoever. I am about as useful as a screen door during a tornado. It is ridiculous. So let's talk about that. There are so many examples, but here's a couple that stick out. To start, one year my wife bought this dollhouse that came with approximately 4,732 pieces that had to be put together. And we didn't build it until Christmas Eve.
Oh, no.
It had to be put together and ready to play with, that morning. You couldn't stash it anywhere. This was a monstrosity of a dollhouse. And, Christmas morning comes early. Kids want to wake up when the birds are chirping. So I think we stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning doing these things. And you're doing most of it. I'm just over there pouring you wine, which may have led into why it took us until 4 o'clock in the morning. And then a couple of years later, decided when she was getting bigger, we wanted to build this permanent structure in what I call my man cave, and that was going to be a gigantic climbing wall. And this was going to be, 8 feet tall competition style, climbing things. I was going to paint it so it looked like they were climbing up onto the mountains, and this thing took weeks. We were out there in the cold, it's December, out getting it ready again for Christmas morning. And, we were out there in the dark underneath the moonlight, probably had propane heaters out there keeping us warm, again, drinking wine. And then we got it done, and she loved it. Unfortunately, my daughter did break her arm like a week later, but that's completely unrelated. Anyway, through all of that, Zeke, you've been there. My daughter genuinely loves you. And like I said, you are Uncle Zeke. But what's really special now is that my family has been blessed with the same scenario twice now. Zeke, you were able to be there again from the beginning with our daughter June. But in this past year and a half, we brought another kid into our lives, my son James. And we get to go through this whole thing twice now. And it's you. You get to be there and watch him learn how to walk, watch him learn how to talk, and watch him build his own personality. And now we have MTL. So, with that though, talked to my daughter June. I said, it'd be really special if you wrote something for this couple right here. I just asked her what she would want to say, what kind of advice. So, when I think about Zeke, I think about, he's my Uncle Zeke. When he calls, he says, go ahead for Zeke. Boat rides, laughing, being friends. And then when I think about Laura, I think about Callie and her overload of cuteness, a big smile, I mean, not Callie, super nice, and having a new auntie. The advice from June is to always be kind and no yucky smoochy kisses. Most importantly, have fun tonight and invite me next time. Where was I in this moment? All right, so let's get down to brass tacks then. Okay. All right. I just want to talk about how lucky you two are to have each other. It's rare to find a person that is willing to put up with your shenanigans for a lifetime, right? It definitely takes the right person at the right time. Soulmates don't meet each other by accident. Everything you did in the past, every little decision and act that you made trained you to be with this person. Every success, every fail, every laugh, and every tear brought you together in here today. But when you do find that right person, who are they? Are they someone who's going to agree with you every decision that you make? Absolutely not. A successful marriage is dependent on who you choose as a partner. When you choose someone as a partner, are you choosing someone that is going to believe in your dreams, someone who's going to advocate for you, be your support system, and be the wind in your sails? I sure as hell hope so. And I see that with you too. Successful marriages aren't ones that you need someone, where you need them to do something that you can't. Successful marriage is when you find an equal. Someone who shares your passions and wants to grow with you, to create a storybook that only you two can write together. I mean, you all right? Yeah. Oh, buckle up. All right. Look at yourselves right now. Think about when you first met. And when that happened is when the story changed. That's when the plot twisted in your favor. But here's the thing. When you look back, you'll realize that it was all about timing. That everything that happened before was God's refinement process. I mean, when you two first started dating, I thought I was watching a live-action episode of The Bachelor. You guys were gallivanting all over the place, going to fancy dinners, staying at luxury hotels in Mexico, getting all dressed up, and living this almost fairy tale lifestyle. But that was just the beginning. You were just in the forward of your story. And now that you've made this commitment tonight, the story is about to get way better. Yeah. There you go. So Laura, I've never found the time to tell you this. No, but thank you for taking this good man, who is one of the most unique, challenging, intelligent, and loyal people that I know, and loving him for who he is. You have shown him what true love is, and you've created happiness together. Zeke is truly a changed man since you two met. You are an incredible woman, and I'm so happy that you've helped him grow as a person, and I'm excited to see how you two grow as a couple. All right, so I know this is supposed to be a best man speech, but I'm coming back to you now, Laura. It's strange to think that you met this guy, a Marine, works for Boeing, owns a lake house. Hell, he even owns a boat. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the speech, he doesn't necessarily know how to steer on that floating piece of steel. With that said, for what I believe was your third date, like I said, he invites you over at his place. He wants to show off the lake house and wants to impress you by going out on the lake on his pontoon boat. No, I wasn't there for this particular date. But I'm going to assume that you had a great time. Anyway, what I do know is that Zeke has one speed. Go. Yeah. And it was time to bring the boat back in. You'd think you might try to impress your new girlfriend by absolutely finessing that thing into the boat, into the dock. But not Zeke. Oh no. This guy comes in hot. Now I don't know the details to this catastrophic failure. All I know is that the next morning I was like, hey man, how was the date? He goes, oh buddy. I messed up. I was coming to the dock to get the boat to stop and just ran the dock. And then just kept going until I hit land. And I was like, oh yeah, man, that girl is not coming back. However, in a rare twist of fate, I was wrong. And that doesn't happen often. And not only did she come back, but he actually proposed to her on that same dock that you ran the Alright, so with that, I'm going to tell you how marriage is like owning a boat. I mean, it's exciting, it's fun, you can go to cool places together, and it's gonna go fast. You can experience new things and have the time of your lives, but you have to know it takes a lot of work. If you don't pay attention to it, they're gonna want to sink. They can cost a lot of money. That's terrible. Oh my god. But you're gonna have a lot of fun together. And maybe when they're getting old, maybe you need to buy some new parts. But as long as you put in the work, you'll be able to share memories together and have something special that other people will be envious of. So with that, let's raise our glasses. We're going to run into some things along the way, and not every day will be smooth sailing. But when you do run into something unexpected, work together and fix it. Don't forget to take it out and put in the work, and you'll have the best years of your lives. And now, with the best co-captain you could ever ask for.